Hello there. So today we're going to look at some basic guidelines to follow while approaching reading comprehension type of questions. So without further ado, let's start the session. The first tip for today is keep a track of timelines and statistics. If you notice a lot of statistics or numbers mentioned in the passage, you will be most likely be questioned on these stuff. So make sure you keep a track on all these. Moving on, don't use outside knowledge or your opinion or common sense to answer the RC questions. You're not supposed to do that. All the information you require to answer any RC question is directly or indirectly given in the passage itself. So don't try to answer the RC question based on your opinion or your common sense. Just try to stick on to the passage. Moving on, read the questions carefully. After reading the questions or basically the passage, when you start attempting the questions, make sure that you read every question carefully. So after reading the questions carefully, what you have to do is read all the answer choices. Even if you like one particular answer choice, make sure you read all the other answer choices too, because it's possible that there is another answer choice that answers the question even better than the one you have liked initially. So make sure you read all the answer choices. And moving on, try to eliminate some options before marking your option choice. Before marking your answers, try to eliminate few options. Basically, if you eliminate two options, you will basically be able to eliminate two or three options. After which, even if you make a blind guess, you have a 50% chance of selecting the correct answer. So make sure you eliminate the wrong options or the options that you find skeptical. Moving on, tips for attempting the other tips for attempting reading comprehension. Find out the main, primary, and secondary topic of discussion. At once you read the entire passage, try to process that in your head. After processing it, try to analyze the entire passage. After analyzing the passage, you can easily find the primary, main, and secondary topic of discussion. So after doing all these up, don't forget to find the tone of the author. You can find all these up only after reading the whole paragraph. If you skim to the passage, you can't find the main or primary or secondary topic of discussion. If you try to also, it will not be so, perfect. So try to read the passage entirely without skipping through it. Try to find the tone. There is a lot of possibility that you might be questioned on these bases. So try to find out main, primary, secondary, and tone of the author at once you finish the passage itself. So moving on. Try to eliminate the options if it has extreme words like the words like all, always, everything, and none. If the author himself doesn't use these words, then there is a lot of possibility that these words, if mentioned in the option, wouldn't be the right fit. So if you find these options, these words in your options, then eliminate these. If the author didn't use these words. Okay, so moving on. Pay attention to words like however, though, but, and although, because these words represent which means if you have these words in the passage, which means there is gonna be contrasting statement after these words. Clear? So pay attention to these kinds of words. So moving on to the next slide here. So what I would recommend you to do is pause this video. Pause this video and take for about 2 minutes and then try to answer the questions that follows up. Okay, so try to read the entire passage without skimming through it. Read the entire passage and then here comes the question. The primary purpose of the passage. I told you, no, the primary purpose, the main purpose will always be in most of the time. It will be the main, secondary, or the primary purpose will always be in your question. Most of the cases, okay? So let's find out the primary purpose of the passage. So the first thing is question male writers for not focusing on the issue of women in their literature. Okay, so question male writers is not focusing on the issue. Okay, reconcile. Okay, so the first option that I would eliminate would be this one and this one. Why is that? The author is not trying to reconcile or propose, right? The option, so sorry, the author is not trying to reconcile or propose something. Yes, that's why we are eliminating both these options. So let's move on to the next option. Let's look at option A. Option A is not within the scope of the passage at all. So we can eliminate this. Okay. So moving on, we have two options that's been left to us. So option C is mentioned in the passage, but there is a catch. It's not the main purpose of the passage. Here we are talking about, the question is about primary purpose of the passage. Is it the primary purpose of the passage? Not at all. It's a part of the passage, but it's not the primary purpose of the passage. So we can eliminate this. So the option is argue that women are meant to and should be encouraged to serve a higher purpose of the society. So this is extremely right answer, I would say. This is the exact right answer that we want for the question. Moving on to the second question. According to the passage, who among the following is responsible for the current state of women in the society? So the parents of women, no, it's not even mentioned here. So when you look at the options given here, one, it's not even in the passage. So we can eliminate option A, option B, and C. So here we are left with one and B and C. Okay, so let's read option choice 2 and 3. So who among the following is responsible? Women themselves? Yes. Books by some male writers? Yes. So both the options are right. So option 2 and 3. C is the right fit. Clear? I think it is clear for everybody. So let's move on to the next question. What's the meaning of species as used in the passage? Let's see. Let's move back to the passage. If you need some clarity, then go back to the passage and read the particular word, and then you can guess it out. So see here, thanks to the species impression created by these books, women become intoxicated by all the attention being showered on them and end up believing in that their purpose in life is to win the love and approval of men. So here, after reading this particular sentence itself, we can come to the conclusion that this particular word meaning, according to the passage, is misleading. So we have to find the word that is best associated with the word misleading. So from this, check out the options, every single options here, and then find it out. Large, is it associated with misleading? No. Eliminate. Deceptive, maybe. Keep it. Move on to the next. Accommodating. What is accommodating? Accommodating meaning adjusting or making space for something. So this is not going to be the right fit. Unconvincing. What is unconvincing? Unconvincing meaning lacking in an ability to win the belief of a viewer or a listener. So this is not going to be the right fit. Malicious. So what is malicious, by the way? Let's use RPS method to find out. Indicates bad. So the word is going to be a negative word. So malicious is nothing but determined to do harmful stuff to somebody or something. So that is what malicious means. So is that associated with misleading? It's an extreme word. We won't want, that is not associated with misleading. So the option B is the right fit. So that's it. Moving on to the last question for the session. I would leave fourth question to you. I want you to answer. Put down your answer in the comment section. I'll check it out. So that's it. That's all for today. Thank you.